On this episode of ResiWeek, how you can compete with Amazon's Black Friday sales, ADT sues to halt Ring Protect sales, and Draper partners with Herman to help you sell shades. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by SDVOE, the platform for networked AV, and by Harman International.
This is ResiWeek episode 92, The Right Touch.
This is ResiWeek.
Welcome to ResiWeek. This is your weekly wrap-up of all the latest news and stories for the residential AV industry. I'm your host, Matt D. Scott for AVNation.tv, and today I'm pleased to be joined by Jason Griffin. He is the Partner Development Manager at One Vision Resources and the co-host of Home Tech Podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Then we have, last but not least, Heather Sidorowicz. She is the president of Southtown AV and the first ever female board member for CEDIA.
Not first ever.
Not first ever? Oh my gosh, seriously?
Yeah, seriously. It just has been a really long time.
Yeah, so to me that...
But I'm not the first. I'm like the fourth or fifth.
Okay, well, I was born in 83, so you're the first for me.
Long time.
It's been a long time. But she got elected to the board after a grueling race. We'll call it.
It was exhausting.
Wasn't it though? Did you like the bus though?
I did like the bus. We had good times in the bus.
Yeah, the bus was fantastic. I also won. If you missed that, I was one of the other. Thank you. I was one of the other new members that got elected, including, and I'm going to forget his name now, Ken, I believe.
Erdman.
Yes, Ken Erdman. I want to say Irwin, but that was not correct. So congratulations to Ken, as well as, of course, congratulations to you, Heather. Before we jump right into the stories, just real quick, how is your last week been since it came out last Monday?
Insane. It has been insane and exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. So since the announcement was made, I have gotten more text, emails, social media connections than ever before in my social media world. So first of all, thank you to everybody who voted. Extra thank you if you voted for me. And there is a lot, even more than I really knew, how much passion there still is in our industry. So we see it maybe at Expo or the show, but to see so many people come forth and really care about this association has been eye-opening, and it really only makes me want to go in with more solid. So it's been pretty intense. How about you?
Pretty much the same, and I want to echo your sentiment almost exactly. Is the number of phone calls, the number of texts, the number of LinkedIn messages, Facebook messages, Twitter messages, and more importantly, I got them from all my friends and all the people that I kind of expected.
People you've never met before. People
I've never met before. People that I've met and honestly have put up on this pedestal of awesomeness, or just expertise and just people who have done so much for the industry. Some of those people who have reached out to me and congratulated me, and more to the point, really told me how excited they are that essentially both of us are involved in and on the board now. That was incredibly humbling and exciting to see, just for that same reason of there's so much excitement, so much passion that I don't want to say we didn't see before, but it definitely wasn't at the forefront. So that's been really exciting.
There's a lot out there, and there's a lot of people who really truly believe in our association and are ready for that next level. It's I agree, humbling. Very
much so. All right, let's kick this back off with a story, since Jason has nothing to say about being a board member because he's not.
I feel a little bit outclassed here. I'm the oddball, but there's always next year, I suppose. And congrats to both of you. I was really excited when I saw the results, and I have really high hopes for what you'll be able to accomplish there at CEDIA. And I think the industry the association, I should say, is heading in the right direction. So good luck and congratulations.
Why, thank you. All right, let's kick this off. This comes to us from Twice Magazine. We're going to start with a fun one, and I'm hitting the wrong buttons. As I said, Twice Magazine, Amazon has declared the start of the holiday season. As soon as it turned to be November, right after Halloween, Amazon brought up their Black Friday deal store, offering discounts and deals on tech, toys, clothing, home goods, etc., up and through Thanksgiving. This is not, I don't want to say this isn't new, but this isn't something that I remember them doing this early. I remember them having deals of the day and things like that leading up to Thanksgiving, as Black Friday, especially in the States, is such a huge deal. We don't in this industry, we can't really compete with Amazon Black Friday deals, Best Buys, or any other store that you want to throw out there. We can't really compete with them on TVs and receivers and all this other stuff that they will be doing, unless it's, of course, a price protected product. Heather, as an integrator, what do you do to kind of combat this? And maybe combat's the wrong word, but what do you do to participate in Black Friday, if anything at all, to serve your clients and assist them or at least be there and be touching them when everyone else is coming into this holiday season?
You know what I did last year? I closed on Black Friday.
That's awesome. I did too.
And it was wonderful. Felt really good, and my team was extremely happy. And the way that we did that with our clients is anyone that had come in within an amount of time, about a week or a week and a half ahead of time, we told them that we knew what those deals were, because Sony and everyone, they tend to get those emails out and tell us what the deals are going to be. So we know what they're going to be. We've just started getting them in now, which is why it's crazy to me that, Amazon can start the deals because we don't even know what they are, but they're Amazon. So we would just let them know, like, don't worry about getting up early on Friday. Stay home, relax, watch a movie with the kids. Your TV will still be here. We'll still get it in for you. You can still have that great deal. And it felt great. Are we capturing every sale? No. But are we also missing out on the crazy people who not only are they going to get that sale, but they're going to be the difficult client? So I think it was Rich Fergoso who once said, sometimes the most profitable job you ever have is the one you said no to or didn't take.
I love that approach. Jason, because not every integrator has a store, not every integrator wants to go down that, hey, we're going to match Best Buys or Amazon or any Home Depot's TV sales, whoever you want to add in there. Is there a workable solution or a marketable solution for going after just the excitement of Black Friday, whether it be, I don't know, anything? Is there something there that makes sense for most integrators to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you're not going to compete on hardware, obviously, but there are plenty of opportunities. I mean, Amazon is going to drum up a lot of activity and interest, and all of these other retailers as well with Black Friday. And people are going to be in the shopping spirit. So they're going to go out and they're going to buy new TVs or new gadgets of some sort. And it gives you a great opportunity. I think one of the things that I've seen done that's pretty effective around these times of year is to spin up an email marketing campaign ahead of time and get out in front of your clients and let them know, hey, the gadget season is upon us, and we are your technology manager. We are your technology advocate. We're here to help you with all of that. So give us a call. Or technologist, that's right. And the idea being that get yourself in position, because really, yes, you're not going to compete with Amazon when it comes to selling flat panel TVs or Blu-ray players or media servers. But what you can compete with Amazon on is personalized service and the human touch. And so really finding ways, and what that means to you is going to be different from business to business. If you're a company, for one example, who's looking to get into doing more RMR and premium service memberships and that sort of thing, it gives you a great touch point, right, to just start that conversation. And you may not close the deal with all of your clients, but certainly get some opportunity, and it gives you a very organic natural, unforced touch point to get out in front of your clients. Again, some of them may have been dormant for quite a while, and it's always good to touch base and see how you can help.
Well, and I will say this is that perfect opportunity to throw a sales email out there, especially if you have that clientele that doesn't like getting sales emails. They're expecting them right now, so you can do it, and you don't seem like that big of a punk for sending out a sales email to clients that maybe don't want them.
Right. I mean, that's often the hardest thing about sending those sort of emails is finding the reason or the natural, what's the point? Why did you reach out to me? And this gives you a perfect opportunity. So, whether you use that to go try to drum up RMR or, just get into people's homes and see if there are other upgrades that they might need. There's a lot of different ways you can go with it, but ultimately I think it's a big opportunity as long as you're looking at it correctly and not trying to go out there and compete against a company like Amazon, obviously.
Very good. No one wants to compete with Amazon.
I sure don't.
No, not at all.
Did you see the launch on that article that they talk about the launch of the, was it One Key or Amazon Key?
Amazon Key.
That is crazy.
Where they're going to let you into their, you let them into your home. Yeah, no, not cool. Not in my house. Because as Jason and I already talked about, most of my neighbors leave their homes open. Because it's a small town.
Where do you live exactly?
Nope, not at all. This comes to us from CE Pro. A judge has halted the new Ring Protect. They've halted the sales of it, their new smart home security system, in a lawsuit that was filed by ADT. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this. If you've followed our show, we've been the last, 3-4 months, we've been really excited about a bunch of goofy little smart home security systems because they're solving that bit of a niche market that has existed for a long time, but has been hard to sell for integrators, annoying to install, and something that clients don't get excited about. We've got a whole slew of new products that have come down from Ring, from Nest, from ADT, from 2GIG that clients seem to really actually like for once. But what makes this lawsuit fun is that if you don't know, this is all stemming from some intellectual property that was owned by Zonoff. And back in March of 2017, Ring hired essentially the entire Zonoff staff after Zonoff folded. Now, this is, of course, following something like a $45 million investment in Zonoff by ADT that helped develop some of this technology, which Ring has now put out. When Ring announced this product, it was literally the day after ADT's new version. So it's essentially both parties saying that they helped develop this because Ring also had an investment in Zonoff. It's a really fun he said, she said kind of case, primarily because ADT's moved on from this technology. They're no longer even selling these products. They've moved on. It's not patent trolling, but it's kind of that. And we're leading into Christmas. So what better time than to say, hey, you can't sell that product. Jason, we've seen a ton of legal cases this year in what seems to be more than other years. As integrators and as integration firms and people following this industry, how much of this matters to us? Not so much just in the fact that there's cases going on, but once you've decided, like my company has, where we're excited, we really want to see this ring. We think this is a product that we can sell. Should this give me, as an integrator, should this give me pause?
Well, with the timing of this one, I suppose it works out better for you as an integrator because this came to the surface before they started shipping thousands and thousands of units out into the field that integrators were installing and supporting, and then all of a sudden this comes to the surface, and now you're in a tough spot. But I'm bummed about this one too. I think it looks like a cool product. The $10 a month professional monitoring that Ring was going to offer with that was really awesome. A groundbreaking price. It included video storage. Looks like a really cool system. So I was bummed to hear that they're in some hot water allegedly with the system. it's funny, you read the story and it sounds like something out of a movie. You've got a
clandestine
having a clandestine meeting in the zone off parking lot between CEO Mike Harris and ring representatives with a USB stick. So it's you can't make this stuff up, I guess. I think more broadly speaking, as integrators, it is always difficult. You just have to try to pick reputable brands and hope for the best. But there's not a lot, really, unfortunately, that you can do to protect yourself if something like this were to come up completely unexpectedly. So with the ring system, as an integrator, I would certainly be cautious if they do move forward and make sure that that's all cleared up. I don't have a great understanding for how these proceedings work, but really make sure that the book has been closed before you dive in and start selling it to clients. And that's about the best you can do.
Or sell it to clients with a caveat of, this is the story, so buyer beware.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes back into clients that are buying, what is it, Cody, right? They're buying the
Cody boxes.
Yeah, like I don't think that will last. I still think that will go away eventually. There's been products over time where people even know that they're getting something almost too good to be true, that I feel that if you present them with that, like, sure, hook up all your cable without a box because your TV currently can decode it, but know that at any moment they might change it and you're going to need a box for each TV.
Well, and I'm really hoping that this meeting, for one, went down in the parking lot and ended with, coffee while drinking it and briefcases being put down, and then the little shimmy shift I'm grabbing with my left and picking up with my right. I really hope that's what happened. But seriously, Heather, Jason said that you have to make sure that this case gets kind of wrapped up and closed. And you said to obviously make sure that you're telling your clients what's going on. With stuff like this, obviously we need to follow it fairly closely, but does this stuff ever really end? Like, at what point do you say this round wins in favor of someone? At what point do you have to either turn away from all of these kind of products where something like this is going on versus just sitting back, waiting, watching, hoping, wishing, whatever?
Anything that makes a big story will make a big splash. But does it really change consumer habits? I don't know. I mean, there's been talks of hacking smart homes now for years, and every now and then they'll bubble up that the camera in your TV has been hacked and they're really watching you or listening to you. And I think that the more they do that, it's almost glossing us over, so that that as consumers we're not taking it as seriously. It's like snowstorms here in Buffalo. If you tell us all the time that there's a terrible snowstorm, eventually we just don't listen. So it's that same kind of philosophy that the more that they talk about it, I think that as us as technologists, we need to watch it. We need to know, because when the first 4K TVs came out and we knew that they weren't going to be compatible with the 4K content that would come out later. Mm-hmm. I told everybody that walked in, and if they wanted to buy it afterwards, they could, but I made sure they understood that caveat. And I think that that's why they come back for years and years and years. Now I'm opening a restaurant or a bar or a business, and I'm coming back to you because I now trust you because you told me the bad part too. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, completely. All right, let's move on. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Matt.
No, jump in.
Plan for it to the extent that you can. If you're selling lighting control products that aren't Lutron, you can pretty much bet that Lutron will sue that company at some point. But they'll be able to continue doing business. They'll settle and they'll be fine. Like, we know that. Beyond that, maybe some language in your contract. Get with your lawyer if you have one and figure out what you might be able to do to put it in there and protect yourself. Because frankly, we hear about these things in the headlines, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not all that common, really. And so, probably a small clause in your contract is enough to protect you in that worst case scenario of a client who really does get bent out of shape and decides to come after you.
Very good. The only thing I'm going to add to that is not if you have a lawyer, you have a lawyer. And if you don't, seriously, it's 2017. Go get a freaking lawyer. What is wrong with you? And I'm off my soapbox now. For our last quick story of the day, this comes to us from our Residential Systems. Draper has offered a new shade pricing, as well as, more importantly and more interestingly, a partnership with Herman. Now, if you don't know Herman, they are a integration service company. They are not an integrator. They provide labor, manforce, as well as things like rack building and programming and all kinds of goodies. So this is a fun little story in the sense that shades have been all the rage these days. It seems at CEDIA every year, and heck, even at Infocom, there's another company that you never really would have thought would get into shades, has gotten into shades. Heather, let's start with you on this one. Are shades the next, and I know they've been in the industry forever, and I know that they've been pushed forever, but are shades kind of that next big thing that more and more integrators are going to get into? And I can't believe it's 2017, and I'm asking that question because they have been around for so long. But if you ask a shade manufacturer, they'll tell you how few dealers actually do this.
Yeah,
Is it the next big profit margin?
Where you are in the world. I think that if you're an integration company out of California or Vegas or Texas, where it's more affluent, then that's probably, I agree with you, all the rage. In Buffalo, New York, not so much.
You don't do a lot of shades, no.
No.
Snow solar shades?
No shades. No shades. And even lighting control, I think we're way behind the 8 ball. It's still just starting to bubble. There's certainly lighting control in Buffalo, but not like it is in other areas. So do I see that they could grow? Absolutely. And it will depend, just like all these other, easy monitoring systems or these other it's how it brings you in, how you sell it, just like all of it. And we'll go back to what Jason said earlier, what Amazon can't compete on, right? It's the relationship. It's I'm going to your house. I'm going to give you that good, warm and fuzzy feeling to really help you design the system as it should be.
Very good. Jason, the fact that they partnered with Herman, I don't remember, and I've probably missed one, but I don't remember seeing a manufacturer outright partner with a labor force company, essentially, to say that, hey, if you want to sell our product, but you don't want to install it, you don't want to do any measuring, do any management, do really any part, you just want to sell it and make some money off of it, why don't you hire these guys to come install it and manage that other half of it and outsource completely to Herman? Now, I've met the Herman CEO. He's a great guy. It's a great company. But in residential, we don't see this that often. Is this something that, one, is highly beneficial for residential integrators, but B, is this something that we should look more aggressively at, this outsourcing for specific little verticals that we can make money on, but we don't have to actually hire someone directly on staff to do?
Yeah, I'm generally, in principle, a big fan of partnerships, and I think outsourcing is a great tool when done correctly and used for the right purposes. I was a little bit surprised to read this story. I want to learn more. I don't know how much depth there is to this partnership and what the execution actually looks like on a real project. If you sort of walk through that project life cycle and who is actually doing what, and how are people getting paid accordingly, it seems complicated to me. I can tell you that shades are a very popular category amongst the integrators who do them, because you have the potential to make a very good margin where you can get into trouble on shades. And I've been at companies where this has happened, and it's easy and to get in trouble on two fronts. Falling on your project management, tripping up on your project management and mismeasuring shades, right? And those are like black holes when it comes to doing shades, and it doesn't take many mistakes to completely eat up your profits. So that's always something that was really given a very high level of attention and detail within the companies I worked at that did it successfully. And so the thought of outsourcing that to another company, to me, is something that I would have to look very hard at. Now, with that said, if it looks like a really thoughtful offering and you sit down and do your homework and it seems like they've actually got it figured out, I've totally got an open mind to it. But I would go into it, I think, with a healthy level of skepticism and ask the right questions and make sure you understand exactly what you're buying to a very detailed level, because just saying that we're partners in this shade endeavor doesn't even begin to tell me what I would need to know as an integrator. Very
good. All right. Thank you so much. That is all the time we have today. Heather, again, congratulations. Where can I feel like we've come so far?
All the way from Arcadia Tweeps. Isn't that how we met?
Yeah. Way back.
Started as little volunteers.
Yep. Where can people connect with you?
You can find me on Twitter. I am tech, TECH_chi, CHI, because I'm all about the balance. You can find me on other social media. You can find me on LinkedIn by name, Heather Sidorowicz, or Southtown Audio Video, or, just around.
Just bouncing around. Jason, thanks again for joining us. Where can people connect with you?
Great place to connect with me is on LinkedIn, just Jason Griffing there, and also over on Twitter at Home Tech Podcast. Like you mentioned earlier, we do that show and we have a lot of fun with it. So we'd love for people to connect with us over there as well. Thanks again for having me, Matt. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for being here. If they do want to catch your show, where do they grab that show?
Yeah, hometech.fm is the website, or you can just search for Home Tech on any of the big iTunes apps or podcast apps, I should say. We're on pretty much all of them.
Beautiful. It is a great show. If you have not heard it, definitely check it out. For myself, even though he's never invited me on. Interesting. I guess.
I was waiting for this appearance.
The board member thing, right?
Yeah, the board.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks so much for joining us. For myself, if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me at Matt D. Scott on Twitter and every other social platform. But more importantly, please take a moment to stop by AVNation.tv. You'll find this show as well as a wide variety of our other shows with all the verticals that we cover. When you stop by the website, please take a moment to check out our underwriters. We are extremely thankful for their support and ask that you support them as well. Thanks again for joining us. That's all the time we have for this episode of ResiWeek.